So today it finally happened. We have Hannah that's going to ask the questions. My name is Rick Barker, host of the Music Industry Blueprint podcast, former manager of superstar Taylor Swift. And if you've been watching videos for a while, you'll constantly hear me say, well, Hannah did this, or I'll ask Hannah a question. So a couple of videos ago, I invited Hannah on to ask the questions, and she turned me down.
I did.
Then people were saying, Rick, you were makeup shaming and hair shaming. I'm like, no, I invited her on. She shamed
turned
herself.
it down.
Yeah, she shamed herself. But she also has her own YouTube channel. So I felt that she was being selfish, or maybe that I just wasn't paying her enough to, honor us with her ability to be here. So I just thought it would be fun since she's, in full transparency, she's monitoring the comments. Her and Maddie, keep an eye on the socials and things like that. They're constantly getting the questions that they're bringing to me. And I'm like, dude, let's just do a Q&A where we can do this together. So thank you for blessing us with your presence today.
Thanks for inviting me again.
She is real. And let's start with some of the cool questions.
Okay, first one. In regards to social media marketing, what should I do if I have an older audience? Is email a better option?
It is if you have their email address. Here's the thing. Since COVID, the average age on TikTok has gotten high. I'm seeing TikTok grandpa, TikTok grandma, TikTok dad. So there's a lot of people that are in these places. You have to train your audience no matter what it is. A lot of people know right now that if they don't get a response back from me on email, they DM me on Instagram because they know that one of us will end up seeing it. Right. So know who your audience is. The older folk, and I don't know what older means to you, but let's just say 50 up, they are on Facebook. The problem usually is that your content is just promotion driven, so they're not actually seeing it. So the goal for all of us is to get people onto the email list. So what do you have that you could offer? Maybe it's some exclusive content. For me, I use my book as a giveaway. Invitations to free presentations. So you're in a little bit of a different situation, but kind of talk to the audience that you have, find out what they would be interested in getting more of. But yes, you should have your socials and your email list. If socials go away, the email list is your only way of communication. So ultimately, all of you, no matter how old your audience is, get the email when the time is right. Make sure that you're not just always spamming people, that you're giving quality content, exclusive content, checking in on them. And ultimately, if you want your posts to be seen, you are going to have to pay for it. I mean, right now, I'm spending about $1,000 a day on Facebook and Instagram ads just to get the attention of the people that, like you, that I'm trying to get a hold of. So ultimately, if you want to get their attention, you are going to have to pay, but that's business. We can't, McDonald's just doesn't call you up on the phone or say, hey, Rick, how you doing? Listen, by the way, you thinking about a Big Mac today? We would love for you to stop by. That's just not happening. I've never gotten an email from McDonald's, but I sure see a lot on social with McDonald's, and usually it'll say sponsored, which means they paid to get that information in front of you. So don't worry, all of you, no matter what age, should be trying to get the email address when the time is right, but don't abuse that privilege because it is a privilege to have it.
Yeah. Okay, second. When you say we should post on social media every day, do you mean post on every single platform every day or cycle through?
If you would have asked me this 7, 8, 9 months ago, I would have said every day, every platform, multiple times a day. But what I've come to realize is the reality of that happening is very small. If I didn't have you and Maddie and we didn't have scheduling pieces, it wouldn't be happening on every platform every day for us. Right. Find the one that you're great at, but don't let more than a couple days go by. The reason for that is that algorithm. That algorithm bases everything on engagement. So if you only post every couple days and no one engages, your reach is going to get smaller and smaller. That's the only reason that I tell people to post every day. One is you hope to show up in their feed. And two, if someone discovers you, if someone heard a song that you did on Spotify and then they're going to go to what I like to call their weapon of choice. They're going to say, I'm a Facebook person, so I'm going to let's go see what Hannah's doing on Facebook. Oh, Hannah's never really here. She posts only once every 2 weeks and she only talks about herself. There's no reason for them to like your page, right? So what we're trying to do is get them to like your page. Same thing for Instagram, same thing for Twitter. So I just do it for discoverability reasons. And because it's so easy to schedule, there's really no reason that we shouldn't have something there. It used to be, I teach the breakfast, lunch, and dinner strategy. Mostly now, that's for whatever your jam is. If Instagram's your jam, boom, 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 3 times a day. Because people, appointment, they'll go, okay, I got a break, I'll go check this. I got a break now, I'll go check. So we want to maybe show up in their breaks because they're not going to scroll down all day. So find the one that you think your audience is hanging out at the most, that you enjoy doing. Just like with anything, if you don't like going to the gym, you're not going to go to the gym. If you don't like doing certain things, you're not going to do it. Find the one that you enjoy. Right now, if I had to choose one, it would be Instagram because of the video, because of the stories, because of the ability now in IGTV to have links, because of the poll. I mean, there's just so much that they put into Instagram.
Right.
If you're going to do just one and your audience 18 to 50, maybe even 60, hit up Instagram. But do what you feel is best for you. I just don't want people to find you and say, they're not relevant.
And when you say post breakfast, lunch, and dinner, you mean add in the stories and stuff too. You're not just saying feed wise.
I mean feed wise once a day.
Yeah.
You know, I mean
people ask you that a lot.
Yeah,
so.
feed time maybe once a day. I would love for us to get to twice a day if it makes sense and it's just not always promoting. But the stories, that's what people are doing. They're thumbing through. And then once again, when you go to your Facebook page, it'll show you these people have created stories today. So it takes of all your people and says, these are the important ones. So if Facebook's going to highlight that, they're telling you this is important to us. So post in Facebook stories. Same thing with Instagram stories. The same thing with live is they tell you who's live, who's doing this. I'll be on Instagram and all of a sudden a little boop, a little drop down will be Hannah's going live. And I'm like, oh, cool. So they're doing everything they can to get the attention. If your person happens to be on their phone, walk around. Everyone's always on their phone. Hell, look at them driving. They're always on their phone. Go to the movie theaters. No matter where you are, they're always on their phone. So if stories is going to give you the ability and live is going to give you the ability to show up more often, that's what I would be doing most often. And I say breakfast, lunch, and dinner. If you have an overnight, if you have an audience that's international, put it in the overnights. But I just like, it's easy to remember. Why? Because you eat. So whenever you eat, post. Whenever you snack, comment and love on people. Whenever you're sitting on the toilet, and don't tell me you don't, because I know you do. I've been in public urinals. Watch the guy set his phone there while he's peeing. So he's got himself in one hand, scrolling with the other. And I'm like, that's ridiculous. At least go sit in a stall or something like that. And so people are laughing right now. They're like, holy crap, how did he know that we do that? Because we all do it. We're human. We can't just Lysol wipes, baby. Lysol wipes.
I would hope so. All right, next question.
That'll be our next video.
Yeah.
How to effectively disinfect your phones.
That would be a good COVID one to do.
That's it. Yeah. How to stay safe during this time.
Sponsored by Lysol.
That's it.
Are you still looking for artists to work with?
So that's a trick question. And I'll tell you why. Yes, I'm always looking to work with artists, but I no longer represent artists. So many of you watching this are in one of my programs. And you might even be in one of my management programs. And the management programs is group. It's like I help a lot of people understand this business. What everyone needs, just like with any business, is you need some guidance, you need some structure, you need some accountability. I have a course and a program for that. Am I actively online looking for the next Taylor Swift? The answer is no. People are reaching out to me all the time going, hey man, are you looking for the next best raw talent? The answer is no, I'm not looking for you, but I have things that can help you. And that's where it gets tough sometimes because there's so much talent that's out there. And most of the time when I get that DM or that response and I click on it, they've got like 56 followers, couple hundred followers. So then what I do automatically, and this is something that all of you can do, is I say go to managemymusiccareer.com. That gives you a chance to take the assessment. And the way that I broke down the assessment is to determine whether you're beginner, intermediate, or advanced. Beginner, just kind of getting started, just interested, doesn't have a website, maybe hasn't even recorded any music right now. my management program, that's not right for that person. Whether they can afford it or not, they're not the right person to be there. So I usually guide them to the social media course, which a lot of you have. It's $97. For $100, you get to know everything that I know up to this point. I bring in other people. I spent hours on YouTube. That's where we are right now. Watching videos of some brilliant people. I share those videos as well. Why? Because you didn't have to go spend the time watching them. And I think what they said is awesome. I don't have to sit there and watch their videos and then try to shoot a video of me just regurgitating what they said. I would rather share them with you. So that's usually where I will start people. The intermediate folks maybe have a song that's out, maybe have their website, are posting on social, maybe not consistent. They're more likely ready for my Backstage Pass. They're in a position now to be able to take all of my courses and be able to get interaction with me. Because what I don't want to ever do is take someone's money to say, just keep doing what you're doing. I hate that. You know, it's like, no, I want to be able to give you information that's going to change the game for you. And the only way to do that is if you're at a certain level. So you have to have music. The advanced folks, they're already making money. Some of them already have a manager. They just kind of come into my world because they want to bounce things off. So am I looking for artists? I'm looking to help as many artists as I possibly can. I'm no longer representing any artist whatsoever. Okay, let me rephrase that. Folks that are in my All Access Pass, there may come a time where I need to get on the phone as their representative, but that's a service that I provide to my top level folks. But I'm not signing anyone to contracts. I'm not taking commissions on anyone. I'm providing them access to me, which I'm saying this humbly, is what they actually need right now. Most folks don't need a manager. There's really nothing to manage. There's no contracts to be looked at. There's no touring. I mean, my gosh, a lot of my manager friends right now are bored out of their freaking mind because they're not doing what they're accustomed to doing. So please don't take it the wrong way if I ever respond back to you saying that I'm not looking for artists, but here's some information that could help you. I'm not trying to lead you. I mean, I give away more stuff than a lot of people I know in the position that I'm in. Yes, I do have paid programs and things like that. I'm always going to send you to free first. I'm going to earn the right for you to want to get to know more about what it is that I have, but don't take it that I didn't like your music or I didn't like you. It's just that's not my gig anymore. My job is I want to be able to help thousands of artists all over the world, and the only way to be able to do that is to not be spending my day looking for artists or representing artists. And been there, done that, got the plaques on the wall. Now it's all about you.
Okay.
I hope that answered the question.
I think so.
Because if it didn't, she would have said, that's really not what I asked you, Rick. We have that kind of relationship.
We do. All right, we've got one more.
Okay.
Is it true that it's better to release singles every month rather than a whole album all at once? They say it helps you get more chances at getting on a Spotify playlist. And if it is true, would you then release the album as a whole after all the singles were released?
First, if you're in a position to put out a song every month, God bless you. Most people aren't. The reason that we say, and we is me and everybody else that's teaching this, when you hear us talk about put out more music more often, is the different digital channels have different rules. Spotify's rule is this: if it's unreleased and scheduled to be released, they will consider it. And you can go into Spotify for Artists. Actually, my last podcast, just go to episode 212, because it might not be the last podcast by the time you watch this video. So episode 212, I went through. Spotify put out a great blog by some of their curators answering a lot of these questions. You are only considered for an editorial playlist, which means Spotify curated playlist, the one that everyone wants to get on, if your music is unreleased. So if you drop a whole record at one time, that means let's say it's 12 songs. Those 12 songs, only one of them can get considered for a playlist, because now they're all released. So here's what I suggest people do. Amazon and iTunes, upload your whole entire record. If you already have it complete, upload your entire record to both of those platforms, because people are still downloading full records and they don't have the same rules as Spotify. Then create a release schedule, best music first, for Spotify, because then when it's done, it is a completed album. You don't upload 12 singles and then upload your full record. It's like once it's uploaded, it's uploaded. So do them individually for Spotify, Apple, Amazon. make sure your music's on Amazon. I was talking with Kevin Bruner from the VP of CD Baby Marketing and his band. They saw that their physical sales, the majority of stuff was coming from Amazon. Wow. Amazon's a big player right now. Remember, that's Google. That's Google Play. It's like they're a big player too, so don't ignore them. But more importantly, understand if you have a bigger audience, they're going to want that song a month. If you don't have a big audience, that song's going to be your calling card for however many months it takes you to get the next one. One mistake I see a lot of artists make is they're saying, here's my latest single. Remember, your music is new to someone every single day. You aren't under the same rules and restrictions that the labels. The labels put out singles. You need to just release music. Too often I see artists get really excited for that first week and all the promotion went into it, and then they just stop talking about it. It's brand new to someone every day. Go watch some of the other videos that I share what to do before a release, especially what to do after you release music. You need to be sharing your music every day in stories. Now, that's not the only thing you need to be sharing, but that's a piece that needs to go out every single day. If you have 12 songs, you have the ability to turn your Instagram stories into letting people get to know your personality, letting people hear your music because you treat it like your radio station, and then you go in and you start following back those people that are engaging with you. You start going in and looking at your comments. Right now, with Creator Studio, if you haven't gone into Creator Studio and seen the changes that they've made and the ability for you to communicate and now upload and schedule to IGTV and schedule to your feed, and trust me, soon I bet you'll be able to schedule to your stories and Instagram, because now you can schedule stories in Facebook, they're owned by the same people. Start using those tools. I think people like Hootsuite are going to go, oh crap, Facebook just made it where all of this can be done inside their own platform. People won't need that anymore. So keep an eye on the changes that are happening with things like that, but just make sure that you're following the rules of the platform. Goes back to that question you asked earlier about posting. Somebody had said something, should I still post in a scheduler the same thing across all platforms at the same time? My answer to that's no, and I'll tell you why, is because each of those platforms speak a different language. So if you're using hashtags and you're tagging people, especially if you're tagging someone in an Instagram feed, that might not be the same tag that's going on Facebook. So when they click on it, it won't work. And actually when it's posted on Facebook, it doesn't show up. So speak the different languages. Take the extra time. It's not a lot of extra time, but you'll benefit from it in the long run. So understand what these platforms do. Keep your questions coming too. Hit us up on socials, down in the comments here. Ask more questions. Hannah loves going through them. Thank you for taking the time to bless us with your presence today. Like I said,
thanks for having
here's
me.
what the comments are going to be. I'm going to go ahead and say it. Dude, is she single? She's so hot. Rick, why isn't she on camera more often? Why doesn't she answer our questions and do these YouTube videos every week instead of you? I already know it's coming. So, one, just behave. We do like the block and remove people button. And if we're nice, maybe she will come back.
And
all right?
Christian.
And yeah, that's right. So don't get all freaky. Yeah, it's like, dude, she's hot. Is she single? I get that all the time. People walk into my office when we had an office, and the first thing they would say, dude, she's hot. Is she single? I said, those are the wrong way to do that. It's like when my daughter, so my daughter who's 17 right now, she'll be 18 in October of 2020, depending on when you're watching this. So she sat down, and I walk into the kitchen, and all through high school, she didn't have a boyfriend, you know, so it's her sophomore year. And she says, Dad, I need to share something with you. I have a boyfriend. I said, awesome. I said, I have two questions. First question, does he love Jesus? Was the first question. Second question, is he a player? She said, yes, he loves Jesus, and I'm his first girlfriend. I said, I'm
there
great.
You go.
I'm in. And he played soccer, which was like an even bigger bonus for me. So behave, be nice. Maybe she'll come back. Be respectful. If you're into this, share it, subscribe. A lot of resources will be down in the description. Binge watch, go back, watch these other ones. Mention I had a podcast. The podcast is awesome too. If that's how you also consume, if you're out on the treadmill, walking, doing whatever, listen in on the podcast. And the best way to get questions to me is through the comments. So we'll see you in the next video. Thank you again. We'll talk soon. And maybe we'll find...
Oh, no.
The world is our stage right now.
You never know.
All right. Thank you, guys.